we didn't really talk too much about detox last time, which I think I had on the agenda for last time, but I don't think we really talked about it. Um, but it's sort of like a precursor to the creativity in a sense, because you kind of have to, it's a continuously emptying out that we need to do to allow whatever is like the true essence to kind of rise up and to allow the inspiration to come in. So that's how I'm sort of connecting the detox with the creativity. The way that I did the syllabus was I kind of did it like astrologically. So like we started in Cancer season, so that was the self-care, home, inner like routine stuff. Now we're in Leo season, which is really the creativity, the essence, the pure essence of who you are. But then we're going to go into Virgo season, and we're going to have two new moons in Virgos and an eclipse in Pisces. I think before we talk again, we'll probably do a group coaching because the next class is September 24th, which is Libra. So we're not going to actually have a class in Virgo season. So whatever, it's kind of straddling both a little bit. So I don't know, the whole detox thing, and I think Thais, you brought up a good point, because also when you go back in after you've like, let's say detox, like listening to music or sound or TV or whatever it is, when you do it long enough, then when you go back in, it's kind of like if like you okay, let me back up for a second. So there's all sorts of detox. Obviously, there's like physical detox, which I'm not an expert in any of that, but it's so we're talking more about like a mental, emotional, I guess spiritual like detox. So we are what we consume, including what we watch, what we scroll on social media, what we read, like the people that surround us. So now that you've all like had started with this awareness of some consciousness and started putting in this routine, so you're a little bit more focused, a little bit more settled in yourself, now you want to really be aware of what are you letting into your consciousness, what are you letting into your heart, what are you letting into your mind, what are you letting into your ears, right? Because it's very easy to just sort of like go around and even not even notice all the things that we're letting into our field. And I'll never forget, like, well, here's an example of like, I remember when I like didn't have sugar. I'm not a huge sugar person anyway, but like, let's say you don't eat sugar for like 20 days or whatever. And then I remember I had like a piece of like baklava, which is like honey. It's not even like sugar. And it tasted like poison to me because it was like so sweet, right? After not having anything sweet. So it's kind of like what I've noticed, and again, this is just gospel according to Christina, like the less like I used to watch a lot of movies, because you're just watching movies or, not a big TV person, but and then I didn't for a really, really long time. And then when you go back in and you watch a movie or you watch a TV show, all of a sudden you realize the power and the force of it. The same thing, like whether it's music or a podcast or whatever, but it's really paying attention to what you're letting in. It's like garbage in, garbage out. Or it's like if you're eating like, McDonald's, you're gonna feel like crap. But if you only know McDonald's, you don't even realize that you're eating crap. So like with the TV, I remember with like the movies and the TV, it's like you don't even realize how powerful it is until you step away from it a while and then come back in and you're like, oh my God, this is like you feel yourself getting sucked in. You feel the influence that it has, and you're like, this is 2 hours of my life. Like, is this really worth me spending? You start to value your time and your energy in a way that you haven't probably noticed before. So I think that's one thing that I really want to emphasize here is now that you're, you know, that you're focused on spirit, living a spiritual life because you're taking the course, we're starting to sort of like pay attention just to that daily routine, setting our foundation. And I want you to really pay attention to what are you consuming? What are you consuming consciously and unconsciously? And where can you eliminate? You know, where can you yeah, like where can you it's a good experiment to do. I'm trying to think of like, I don't know if anybody has like a particular habit, but I think Thais was a good example of like, you know, if you're used to always walking with music on, right? Or with you know, with your headphones on, try for a week not walking with the headphones on, and then go back and put the headphones on, and then you notice the difference, right? I don't know. This is like still Mercury retrograde territory.